Welcome back. If it's your first time joining us, it's Coach Bill's Sports Show. I'm Coach Bill. We go over some college football, doing some season previews right now on some other videos. We do fantasy football. We'll do some play breakdowns. If I can figure out how to do it, we'll start playing some NCAA football on here. Because I don't know about you, I'm excited for the new one to come out. But let's get down to it. Huddle up and let's go. Today, we're going into some more fantasy football. It's going to be league-winning quarterbacks. These are the quarterbacks that I think you'll be able to pick up in the 7th to 10th round of your draft. That could get into the top 5, solidly into the top 10 quarterbacks. Every year, there's say 2 to 4 quarterbacks that are picked in this range that are solid quarterbacks and are on championship teams. So first front up for me is Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford continually drops down the board into this range, and you don't see that from Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. Yes, I understand. In the past, he's had issues with staying healthy, with, finding this and that. But that was with the Lions. He's with the Rams now. So let's take advantage of what we've seen with the Rams. Do I think he is QB1 overall? No. But could he be QB6, 7, 8, somewhere in there? Oh, definitely. Definitely. A lot of talent. Cooper Kupp. You got Allen Robinson. Still got a lot of solid talent around him. It's just going to be good for him to throw the ball, especially in that division. It's a lot of firepower, so there's going to be a lot of scoring. Speaking of that division, my next man up is Derek Carr. He's had a lot of up and downs throughout his career. Going into this season, though, he gets arguably the best wide receiver in the game, definitely in my top 3. And he's got a top 3 tight end, too. Plus Hunter Renfrow, little slot receiver that always just seems to be in the right place at the right time. Since he's been at Clemson, he's always ended up in the right place in the right time. That much weaponry. Josh McDaniels coming in, a little bit more pass happy of an offense than they played last year. And Josh McDaniels has never really had a top running back. I don't think he's ever had a running back break 1,000 yards rushing. No, I think it's 1,200 yards is where his rushers have been capped. Either way, he doesn't like leaning on one running back. What he does like doing is throwing the ball. So, quarterback in that situation is Derek Carr. I think he does well. Again, not number 1 overall, but that 5 to 10 range, and I can pick him up later in a draft. Still get a lot of talent at wide receiver and running back. Stock that up. Easy peasy. Thank you very much. Let's take this to the championship. Next up for the list is Kirk Cousins. Talking about new people helping him with offense. New offensive coordinator. Looks like, from everything that I'm seeing from up there, it's going to be a little bit more of an aggressive offense. Not to mention, he has, I want to call him number 1, but he's like 1A, 1B for wide receiver. And Justin Jefferson, the man is just talented. And he came out today and said, I want to break 2,000 yards as a wide receiver. You know who gets a lot of help from that? Kirk Cousins. You got a wide receiver that's doing that stuff. There's a lot that can be helped out. Plus, you got Dalvin Cook, Irv Smith, who I expect to come back healthy and really kind of show some things of why people were looking at him last year. Solid depth across the entire receiving core up there with Adam Thielen is their number 2. Kirk's got options, and that division is a little open right now. So if this is the year the Vikings want to take a step forward, that's going to be with Kirk Cousins. Speaking of taking a step forward, Trey Lance. I don't know what it is about Trey Lance, but I keep coming back to this comparison. He's the biggest wild card on my list, bar none. Top 5 offensive scheme. He can run the ball. He's still young, so that might happen a little bit more than not. I get young Cam Newton vibes, like freshman year, first year, rookie year Cam Newton vibes from Trey Lance. And a lot of people, if they see those kind of numbers from Trey Lance, are going to be on him. And that's where I got him. That's where I have that feeling. Is every time I do comparisons, it ends up being rookie year Cam Newton. My question with him is, he hasn't really played high-level football. Even in college, he didn't play high-level football. Nothing against North Dakota State University, but even there, he didn't play that long. He played a season and a game. Thanks to COVID, got drafted, sat last year, hopefully learned a lot. That coaching staff and that team seems behind him, so hopefully he's there. Jalen Hurts is my next on my list. Brand new number 1. Wide receiver. And let's be real, the wide receivers he had last year weren't the greatest. Don't get me wrong. They're young, they're talented, and he's got depth there. But now he has a true number 1 wide receiver, which allows all the wide receivers to kind of see how it's done, see what it needs to be, and take another step forward because they're facing weaker corners because everybody's going to focus on it. Plus, Jalen runs. Jalen's been able to show you since he was at Alabama, then when he went to Oklahoma, he has no fear of tucking the ball and running. In fantasy football, a running quarterback gets you points every week. It's almost, if you get somebody like the Ravens quarterback, just trying to think if there's another system where there's a good running quarterback. I think Lamar is really the only one that's solid running quarterback that you can depend on. You get somebody like Lamar who, yeah, he's not putting up the biggest numbers in passing every week, but he's getting you solid work on the ground. It's almost like having a third running back. And it's a third running back that can throw the ball and get you yards there. That's a leg up on your competition. I see the same thing with Hurts. He's a leader. He has shown the willingness to learn, to step forward. And they're going to look at him this year and say, prove it to us. Prove this is your team. Prove this is your team. Prove this is who you think you are. He may not be top 10 in passing yards, but the combination of his ground, the scheme, touchdowns and rushing he's going to put up, he's going to be a top 10 quarterback this year. He's going to be. Another one that might surprise some people is Tua. I'm not going to say his last name because I'm probably going to butcher it. But Tua, he may be looking around that locker room and having flashbacks to his senior year of Alabama, because that's the amount of talent that's around him right now at wide receiver. Not to mention, everybody's talked about, oh, he doesn't have the arm strength. Oh, he doesn't have the arm strength. He threw a 65-yard bomb to Tyreek Hill this. I think it was either today or yesterday. So let's pump the brakes on that. Tyreek's happy with him. Waddle's happy with him. That receiving corps is happy with him. Who knows? Tua may come out and really surprise some people. The organization in Miami is really going to look at him and say, hey, look, we put all this money, all this time, all this investment into you and this team. Show us that we made the right choice. This is your year. Show us you made the right choice. I don't think that's beating the Bills and taking the number 1 seed and taking that AFC East title, but it's a wild card. I can definitely see them as a wild card, especially now that there's 3 wild cards. Could they win a game in the playoffs? That's a possibility, depending on how you match up, which team you match up with. So there's a lot of things that could go right for Miami this year. And if that happens, Tua's one of them. Last on my list, Tom Brady. I know. Everybody's saying it. Everybody's heard it. Tom Brady's getting old. Okay. He's got a lot of talent at wide receiver. He's got some talented running backs. I know it's a new head coach, but let's face it. Tom Brady is his own head coach. I'm not saying there's no risk involved with this. There's a ton of risk if Tom Brady. Matter of fact, if I get Tom Brady in one round, the next round I'm coming back and getting another one of these quarterbacks just to make sure I have a week-to-week starter, because Tom Brady is getting old. He could get hit the wrong way and hurt. We've seen it before. He came back from that one. But this is one of those players that I've never really loved, but I'm never going to hate on. Tom Brady's falling in drafts. And if I get a solid 20 to 25 out of a Tom Brady every week playing fantasy football, the rest of my team that I'm building is going to win me week out of week. Yeah, there's going to be a couple weeks where people just blow me out of the water because they had a quarterback that could put up 50. But consistency wins championships. Nobody's more consistent than Tom Brady. So, thank you for joining us. If you liked what you saw, please like the channel, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. Comment down below. If there's somebody I missed or there's somebody you disagree with, let me know about it. We'll have a discussion in the chat. Until next time, Coach Bell, ready, break.